I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sun.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Friday, March 29th, 2024, and this is episode 655 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled, Oh, Say Can You See? And I'll be doing another TikTok Conspiracy Chat Friday. Good morning, good morning. I hope everyone has their tinfoil, has their Reynolds wrap, has whatever they need to keep their brain waves warm and tight and whatever. Don't believe everything you see. I don't know why my camera's so dark today. Interesting. Some days it is, some days it's not. Same lights on as yesterday, same direction. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. It's a balance between the camera not being completely dark and my eyes actually working after an hour. So let's see who's in the live chat, who's gonna hang out for the hour. Grab a cup of coffee with me and let's talk some TikTok conspiracy theory. Jen G in this morning. Good morning to you, Jen. Thanks for stopping by. And Rewilder Life says Tinfoil Hat Friday, and it's both these ladies' favorites. Good morning, Hunter. Good morning, Hunter, over on Twitch. If you guys are on TikTok and you like the TikTok Conspiracy Theory show, while you're there checking out your own conspiracy theories, definitely check out Reed's Rabbitry over on TikTok. Hunter's lad and his rabbitry fired up a TikTok, fired up some social medias. So everywhere you see Reed's Rabbitry, definitely give it a follow, share, repost, whatever you can do. Give some likes and let's build that up a little bit. Good morning, Pickle Pete. Remembered that right, the proper account this morning, so he can talk in the chat, and we can actually see it. So Pickle Pete wants me to go deep. Is there any other way to go? Jen G says stores around here fresh out of aluminum foil must have had a run on the hats for it. I mean, the eclipse is coming. The eclipse is just over a week away, guys. We'll be talking about the eclipse today. I have some eclipse news. I have some Bob. What is that place? Baltimore. The bridge. You know, the bridge fell down. Yeah, Baltimore. I have that on the list. Rewilder Life was talking about another ship second ship that went bonkers in. Wait, why am I getting a voicemail from a 1-800 number at 6 a.m? What the hell? Second ship down. Where was that, Rachel? I never followed up on that one for this show. But there was another ship. It was like a Coast Guard. Wasn't that a Coast Guard frigate or something? Coast Guard frigate, maybe? Hunter says it's the feds leaving a message. They can leave a message. I got a show to do. I'll get with them at about 7:05. So, also have some P. Diddy, the Diddler, the Riddler, the escape artist. Got some news on him. And then whatever else you guys want to talk about, you got stuff you want to throw in the chat that I will definitely respond to. I really like interacting with the live audience, especially on this show, because Friday shows are the best by far. So anyway, what's in the cup today? We have FTO Blonde espresso. You can tell I've only had a couple sips. Haven't got the brain working quite right yet, but FTO Blonde, always steady Eddie on the FTO Blonde. Really like it. Yes. Rewilder Life with the update says Upper Pennsylvania in St. Mary's. No, it's a fire. Freighter lost power. It's still there causing issues. Went down at 1 a.m. the day after the bridge. Nothing to see here. Move along, folks. Just a big old ship sitting in the river. Just lost power. Don't worry. Why would we Peninsula? Upper Peninsula. Oh, not Upper Pennsylvania. I mean, I would have to assume that anything that you were focused in on is probably up there in the Youper. Rewilder Life says, what are they voting on this week? They're not voting on anything, but P. Diddy's trying to escape. I did have a few rabbit trails. The purpose of the attacks, the purpose. So we will see. Before that, I want to just share for the people that haven't been around all week. If you just stop in on Fridays for the TikTok show, we're going to pull it up. We're going to show you what my new obsession is, what the new obsession of some folks in the audience, the ones that know what they're doing. Fish doorbell this morning. Fish doorbell. If you are looking to get in to be watching the fish doorbell with doorbell access, because that only happens under 950 people watching the stream. This morning, we only have 825 people in. So if you got an extra browser space, I'm not suggesting you do it so you don't watch this show. Not so you don't watch this show, but definitely check out the fish doorbell, and don't get stuck on the YouTube feed. So what happens with the fish doorbell is once they get to 950-ish viewers, I'm going to put that link in the comments here so you can check that out. Be sure you stay around here, but bookmark that for later while you're bored at work today on a Friday. Anyway, how it happens is if the feed gets to 950 people-ish, give or take, because I've been on and had access at a little over 950, but they say that's kind of the tolerance. Their server gets overloaded and they have to bump everybody on the site to the YouTube feed of this, which isn't bad. You get to still see the live view, you get to still see the fish, but man, you don't get to hit the doorbell. Just curious, out of the audience, has anybody hit the doorbell yet? Has anybody actually clicked on the doorbell? Good morning, Jim. How we doing? I was just getting ready to click on click over on Noster to see if you were over there, and seeing that you put Grow Noster. Good morning. Good morning, Jim, and hashtag Reed's Rabbitry over on Noster. So I try to pull that up, and like I said yesterday, I'm still trying to figure out how to get it on my screen. I just got this little tiny laptop screen, guys, and yeah. Rewilder Life says, do you get to feed the fish? I don't believe you get to feed the fish in this one. I don't think this is set up that way. I don't really, in all actuality, know what the doorbell does. I mean, I believe they say that it opens the gate. Actually, I think the story went, and I read it in two different places. I didn't see it on their site. I saw somebody explaining that the predators would wait by the door that they made for the fish to go through in the dam. And the doorbell actually scares the predator fish away or something. I don't know. I think that it might just be a white button, a white circle inside a pink square on a television screen. And when you press it, it does nothing. But then we're like circling back to the Lost phenomenon, the TV show Lost, and wondering, does the button do anything? What if we don't hit the button when the fish shows up? What happens? What if the timer goes down to 0? We don't reset it to 108 minutes. What happens? Will the river collapse? Will the fish die? Will the fish survive? Does nothing happen? I don't know if I want to find out what a world without people pressing the doorbell is. Rewilder Life says she just missed stuff. Had to run outside and grab a dog, dodging dog poop and bare feet. Oh, oof, that's not fun. You didn't miss much. Loco, good morning. Mike's Philippine Nomad swinging in. I appreciate you stopping in for a chat this morning. Guys, let's get to it. We talked about the fish doorbell. We'll see if we can we'll pull that up later maybe and take a gander. Maybe we'll just all sit here, drink coffee, and watch for fish. It's midnight there, so lots of fish activity. They're all sleeping. Let's see, what do we got on the top of the list? Of course, the big news, guys. I'm gonna dip out for just 1 second. I'll be all right. First thing on the list, obviously, is headline this week was when it comes to conspiracies and TikTok. I mentioned it the morning of, so it happened overnight a few days ago. What was that, like Tuesday night, maybe Tuesday night overnight, I would guess, if my memory serves me, which could be wrong, could be Monday night, but Jim thinks I go to the bathroom in that little break. I just blow my nose. Like, really, I literally blow my nose. I just don't think you guys want to watch nor hear that. And you only get lucky if I turn the camera back on and I got a big old wad of snot hanging in my my beard there. So I think it was Tuesday night overnight. Might have been Monday night overnight. I can't remember, guys. But anyway, there was a cargo freighter that ran into a pillar in the port of Baltimore, not the port of Boston. No tea parties going on yet. The port of Boston. The story goes, and this is really the weird part. Like, when it happened, I was like, oh God. And that morning I said, it doesn't matter what happened here. There are going to be 8 million theories and they'll probably all be out immediately. And sure enough, it was this, it was that, it was this, like on and on and on. I was just trying to sift through them. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing that all these people know all of this so fast. From a little video clip from a security tower or whatever that one main clip is. And then I really stopped for a second and realized that there was also the media, the mainstream media that we're supposed to trust, all these independent media outlets, all these individuals on all these social media channels. They're all the same. We might think that Jim in his basement with his tinfoil hat wrapped a little too tight, screaming about aliens driving the cargo ship into the bridge because that's where they want to land their spaceship. We may think that he is a Looney Tune, and we're like, oh my God, how did he come up with that? I want to know how the mainstream media, how government officials come out with definitive statements. And I know they're always saying it's still under investigation, but no one hears that part. No one hears the part when they go, this is still under investigation. But immediately there's a theory. Immediately there's an answer. Almost like they have it planned. I don't know that. I'm not saying the government did this. Legitimately, it could have been a coincidence. They could have been driving that boat, sailing. I guess it's sailing. It was a commercial for Easy Pass. Don't get hung up on the bridge. Get Easy Pass. Oh, that bad. I think my favorite meme out of this thing so far, the whole thing, the memes were rolling within a couple hours of it happening. I'm pretty sure. The best one, the one that made me laugh the most so far, has been. It was a picture of Boats and Hose. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell from Step Brothers when they were doing the Boats and Hose video on the dad's boat, And that's the top one with them rapping, and then the next line was the dad going, "Who's steering the boat?" And then the bottom obviously was the boat with the bridge collapse. Now there's 6 people that died, guys, and countless other people are injured, I'm sure. This is not funny. This is not funny. Jim says should have been in the express lane. Hunter says the press secretary calls 888-pound and asked what happened, and the CIA rep tells them full confidence. Well, anyway, there's a few. There are a few. Hunter, good morning over there. Over on Noster, and yes, you do need to get an NPub for Reed's Rabbitry. Get him set up there on the Noster so people can zap them buns. That needs to be Reed's Rabbitry's hashtag. We're going to brand everything on Noster with Reed's Rabbitry's zap my buns. Perfect. A kid's gonna be a Bitcoin millionaire, and when he is, don't forget who pushed you to make that hashtag. So zap my buns. Anyway, there's a few things I've been seeing about the ship. People are all looking at the video. They're all watching the video that everybody's seeing, the one in the dark where you can see the lights go out, the lights come on, the lights go out, the ship turn and hit the bridge abutment or the pillar or whatever they want to call it. And so people are saying it was on purpose. It was on purpose. Can you see him turning? I sat and logically think about it. I'm like, I just don't understand. I don't see that boat turning that fast. And I think it was somebody in the comments here or somewhere was like, the video is like 5x or 7x or something. It's dark. There's no reference other than this ship moving in the water. Like the first time I watched the one sped up angle, I thought the ship was actually moving away from the camera. And then I watched it again and I was like, wait a second. I've seen this video before. And it was just, there was no reference in the dark with the lights. There was no depth perception. There was no concept of direction. It was rough. It was rough. Rewilder Life says the magic words here. Anyone with kids, I mean, I hope you let your kids listen to this show. You have to have the right kinds of kids to let them listen to this show. You have to be the right kind of adult to listen to this show. But man, if you're listening to this and if your kids listen to this, teach Rewilder Life 100%. Teach your kids how to manage money and teach your kids about crypto and teach your kids how to have risk tolerance with some of their assets. I'm pretty sure Rachel did what she talked about there, and her kids are doing pretty okay because of it. It's a good thing when I hear a parent say, I wish I had listened to my kids. And I'm very happy that they're successful in what they did. It's okay to not listen to your kids, but it's even better that they did something and you allowed them to do it and it worked out for the best. And in a way, now you can say, man, I wish I had listened to them. Hunter said, I did hear that they, first of all, who is they, my man, were monitoring the boat thing, hoping they something containment. I'm not sure what that is, but let's get on to my list. If you explain that out, I could read it a little bit more, but my list of topics with the bridge collapse. First one was brought up by Sean over in the Telegram group. He posted a meme overnight. I thought it was interesting enough to do a quick Google search this morning, but he posted excuse me, he posted a meme of the Mountain Dew conspiracy with these natural events, these things that are happening going back to Maui. It showed that right before Maui, the Maui thing happened, the fires in Maui. Remember, we don't talk about that anymore. Don't talk about that because we got other bigger things to focus on. The Maui, right before the Maui thing, Mountain Dew came out with their Maui Blast, and coincidentally, the release of Mountain Dew seasonal flavors was just over a month ago. And one of the flavors is actually called Star Spangled Splash. No shit, guys, it's not made up. I was like, oh, that's doctored. Those labels are doctored, or it's from a long time ago. Hunter was wondering if the Maui was blue. It was actually like orangish. It was actually an orangish. Jim says, how are sales? I'm not sure how sales. I don't buy Mountain Dew. Not that you couldn't assume that by missing tooth, but no Mountain Dew here. Even when I was drinking soda, Mountain Dew was once every once in a while type of thing for me, and the flavors didn't do it for me. But coincidentally, about a month ago, they released Star Spangled Splash. And if you're like, well, what the hell what are you talking about? Star Spangled Splash. It was the Baltimore Bridge. For the slow kids, oh, I see the Backwoods Butcher and Clark just swung in here. For the slow kids, Kyle, slow kids, the link between Star Spangled Splash and the Baltimore Bridge is the bridge was actually the Francis Scott Key Bridge, and that guy was who wrote the Star Spangled Banner. Star Spangled Splash, bridge goes splash in the water. No. It is what it is. It is what it is. I saw that meme. I thought it was interesting, and it checks out. It was a month ago that they rolled out their summer, but unfortunately for the theorist, I think I have the page still up here. It not only is Star Spangled Blast, it is Liberty Chill, Summer Freeze, and Freedom Fusion. So, and the Do SA. Kyle says he knows who Francis Scott Key is. Jim asked if they've passed the Francis Scott Key Act yet. Oh, where we have to have wider berths for the cargo ships to go through in ports. So that was interesting from last night. I got another couple things here on the bridge. One is the widespread call that it was a cyber attack. Now, I can't say no on this one. The timing, now it's really easy to look at something after the fact and piece it together. Like, if you had a puzzle and all the pieces were relatively the same shape and they were all white or black or all the same color, and you put the puzzle together and then painted the picture, it gets really easy. It's really easy. Well, not really easy, but even Kyle could do it. So saying after the fact, watching that video, watching the power go out, the power come on, the power go out, the smoke, the explosions, all, a cyber attack is easy pickings. Anything that really happens now in our country, since it's so online and connected, that was a cyber attack. Like, literally, I don't want to say anything. There's a lot of things that can't be, but I mean, down to the street lights in the city, they could gridlock a city by just tapping into the street light system. It's silly. Watching the events there, killing the power to a ship as it's approaching a bridge. I mean, it's not. Hunter says, "What explosion?" You didn't see the ship blowing up when the bridge was falling down? Oh god, I got sneeze, guys. Sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me. Um, Hunter's asking what explosions. So I talked about it that morning. There were explosions, on the deck of the ship. There was one explosion. And the problem is it's dark and you can't tell when the front of the ship actually connects with the bridge. It could have been the impact that caused something to explode. And then there were also explosions along the top of the bridge where it fell apart, but I assumed immediately that was power cables of some sort pulling apart where it was coming apart. In a video that's sped up, when you see a flash, is it pre the thing falling apart or is it after it pulling apart? And that's the arc of the cables pulling apart. Rewilder Life said, I wasn't sure if that was a stack smoking or not. I saw the stuff about the smoke puffs. The first smoke puff, there was a cargo ship engineer that said the first one was the backup generator kicking on. So you see, this was the things I was talking about were actually flashes of light, not smoke. Yeah, the one giant plume of smoke was the backup generator kicking on, because he said when that kicks on, it goes to full load, and the backup generator on a ship like that at full load smokes like a son of a bitch. And then the second puff of smoke was the engines engaging again. He also said the steering could have been two things. I thought it turned quite abruptly, but like I said, I didn't understand. I didn't know that the video has been sped up. It makes a lot more sense now. He said that when the power goes out on a ship like that, there are possibilities that any correction made by the captain during the time that the power was out stored in an internal memory. These are all computerized ships, like making a cyber attack a possibility. But he said they'll get stored in, and then when the power regains, it will actually go through the motions of what they did while they were offline. So when the power kicked on, it blasted the rudder, because when the power went out, he's like, oh shit. You know, like when you lose control on the ice, maybe. He also said that if the rudder was in float and the captain put it in full reverse, that can flutter the rudder, and the momentum of the boat going forward, it takes like a mile for these things to slow down, to like stop, even when they go full reverse. So the full reverse propulsion could have moved the rudder, but the momentum going forward was steering the ship still in one direction, and it was going to twist the ship because it's trying to pull backwards, but the rudder is turned. I mean, he was an engineer on a cargo ship for his whole career, so I don't know. Like, did they pull this guy? He looked crusty and old, like he would probably spent the majority of his life in the underbelly of a ship. So, I mean, that's credible. Rewilder Life says, I think I like analog everything still as I type on my handheld spy device. Yeah. So cyber attack is definitely on the table for me. I wouldn't need any confirmation for that. I don't think you'd ever like get confirmation of that, but legitimately, whether this was an accident or a cyber attack, it happened. You're never going to find out who did it, even if it was on purpose. and we're just going to roll with it. And the thing that every Wilderlife asked if he had a pipe. No, he didn't have a pipe on the video I watched, but that is perfect. The the thing that I went down the rabbit hole was, if this was on purpose, what was the plan? What was the purpose behind this? Like, you have to have, if you're gonna do something like this, you're gonna plan something like this. If it was on purpose, and I'm not saying it was, not saying it was by any means. Like, at this point, I'm like 50-50 at best. Other than it was Backwoods Butcher keeps keeps talking about this Mitch McConnell's sister. Yeah, that's not right. That lady did die, but she wasn't the CEO of this. Google it. Look it up. Look it up. I don't know. That's what I didn't, as soon as I saw that she actually wasn't the CEO, I just stopped going down it. I didn't need to. I don't give a shit about Mitch McConnell much. The turtle is gone. The turtle isn't around anymore, and we'll move on. We'll move on. He's from Kentucky anyway. What does he want to do with Maryland? Anyway, if somebody's going to orchestrate something like this, if it was it a different shipping company? It was a different person, dude. You called me racist earlier because I said white or black. I mean, you think all Chinese people look the same. If it's going to happen, there's got to be a reason. It's got to be a reason. So what could be the purpose of an attack on this bridge? I mean, obviously, to impede transportation in Baltimore, in the city. If you ever looked at the map of Baltimore, that's a really convenient route. There's a port there. It's an inlet. It's a big shipping area. There are other routes, but in any major city, you cut one of the arteries and everything goes sideways. Look at construction, even when they don't even close the whole road. Hunter says it was ISIS because they attacked Moscow. We have to get attacked. Are you sure ISIS attacked Moscow? So anyway, I'm like, yeah, but looking at Baltimore, this isn't the ideal target. Like, if you wanted to do another 9/11 event, I don't think the Francis Scott Key Bridge would be tops on my list, especially since you're kind of blowing your cover. Backwoods says that port was the main entry point forward. Yeah. So I don't think that would be my main bridge target for online or on land infrastructure transportation. Like, if I was going to blow something up to send a city screwing into to vehicle traffic mayhem, I don't think it would be the Francis Scott Key Bridge. And it wouldn't be in the middle of the night with only 6 construction workers dying. Like, that wouldn't have been it. Jim says it sends a message to the right people. Well, I have one of 2 thoughts on why. Now, this is going beyond. This is me in my 50 to 30% of my brain that says this was on purpose. Pip says that port isn't even in the top 10. One was, there was something in the port they don't want to get out. Because, like Pip says, it's not even the top 10 of ports. I don't think there was enough. There's not enough slow down, and there it is going to slow shit down. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the top target for crippling imports into the United States. There's like I think 7 to 15 ships right now that are having to change port, that it's going to disrupt them. 7 to 15. Remember during COVID, we had hundreds of cargo ships sitting off the coast, and you still got your Twinkies. So I don't think it was a limiting factor for imports. But what's in the port? And somebody went down that, and I'm not a big sailing Navy ship guy. Like, I don't know the different ships and all that stuff. But it appears that there's a couple of Navy ships there. It appears that there's a couple of pretty high-end logistics ships in port there that can't get out for the U.S. Navy. It appears that there's 2 of the most technologically advanced cargo ships in the world now stuck in that port. Backwoods says that won't be a usable port for at least 5 years. Yeah, there's like, I think they said 7 ships stuck in there, and there's some significant technology that's stuck in that port. Now, was that enough to go through the motions of doing this? Maybe. Depends on what actually is on those ships. Hunter says Russian submarine now stuck in the harbor. Maybe. So that was one thing. I was like, maybe the people that did the cyber attack knew that these Navy ships were there and they want to put them in. Pickle P says that was the hazmat route. Now dangerous stuff has to go through a tunnel. There is that. That was the first thing. Actually, the post that made me aware of the fact that the bridge collapsed before the show that morning. So it had been less than 5 hours. I logged on, and in one of my RV groups is where I saw it. And they were like, hey, if you're going to Baltimore today or anything, don't go. And B, how the hell do you get around Baltimore without going through the tunnel now that I have propane on my Class A? I have a 100-pound propane tank, which you can't take through a tunnel. What I see, and again, this is going back to the 30% of my brain that's like, nah, this might be on purpose. I'm leaning heavily towards the fact that a ship lost power and the driver lost control, the captain lost control, did what he could, and the end result was the dude hit a pillar. Now, should there have been safeguards in place? Should we be tugging any ship in any port that goes under a bridge that has that much infrastructure? Like, concerns if it was gone? Pickle P says, but you just do it anyway. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but some of these people in these RV groups, like it was just the post I saw, dude. Like, that's what, like, I was like, oh, what happened? A bridge collapse? And then I Googled it. So that was their immediate concern within 4 hours was propane transport. Now, extrapolate that out to actual hazardous transport. And yes, it has to go through the bridge or go way, way the fuck around. So that was one theory, was what were they trapping in or out? Backwoods says, I guess they didn't have the port captain driving the ship like they were supposed to. Yeah, some of those ports that they go into, I think it was Miami, I watched a special on, where they bring the guy out. They bring the guy out and put him on the ship because, like, there's 3 or 4 people in the world that know this channel that they have to go through with some of these ships that are on the upper range of what will fit into the port, and they bring them they they bring them in and they like steer this ship in like, whoa, here you go, dude, take my ship. Yeah, so maybe the port captain, I didn't hear anything about that yet. My thought is we're testing infrastructure. Not we as in me. Maybe we as in us as a country, maybe us as in our government, maybe us as in the deep state, maybe us as in the opposition to the deep state, maybe terrorists, maybe Russia, maybe China, maybe Iran via Russia and China. I don't know who is doing it, but somebody spun out a theory about a lot of things that maybe seem unrelated. um Maybe it seems unrelated, but bridges collapsing, and we're not talking like, so we like to talk in really everything's sped up right now. Everything's sped up. Timelines are sped up. Everything is moving fast. And when we talk about related events, we talk about like, oh, the bridge collapsed today and traffic goes bad tomorrow, and then our news cycle like snaps us out of shit within a few days. Like, we don't talk about Maui anymore. You know what else we don't talk about? Train derailments. Did that just all of a sudden stop happening? Because I'm pretty sure it happened like 2 or 3 times in a short period of time, and then now it hasn't happened at all. Did the NSTB all of a sudden get their shit together and now all the trains are safe? Did the infrastructure get better just overnight and the trains stop derailing with chemical cars? Jim says this is a debate for over infrastructure going into the election, is what I first thought. What about all the factories that are burned down? What other isolated weird events where you're like, huh, man, if that happened a lot or on a bigger scale, that would be pretty fucking bad. Bagwoods Butcher says our transportation secretary is useless. And it's the only time every time I hear like the transportation secretary, the secretary of the interior, all I can think of is brought to you by Carl's Jr. I don't know. Idiocracy and the secretaries, the cabinet in Idiocracy just cracks me up. So anytime you say the transportation secretary is useless, it's like an oxymoron. So I don't know. Are they testing? Are they practicing? And who is they? Who is they? If they are stress testing our infrastructure, what is the end goal and who is they? I don't know. Something to think about for the next week until I come up with more. So that's pretty much what I got on the bridge collapse. Let's see what else is on the list. Oh, eclipse. Backwoods Butcher says our government has something to do with it. Weird. Let's move on to the eclipse. Let's look over on Nostra real quick. Rabbit Jim says if he posts rabbit pics on Nostra and I'll zap him. You want to zap Reed's buns? Um, yeah. So on to yeah, and Pickle Pete says something interesting. And he planted a little thing in my head a while back about are we at a point that AI is just functioning by itself? Like we know that this is a possibility. We know that at some point it's going to figure out how to make itself sentient. Are we already past the point that there are AI and portraying themselves as meat sacks? Like I think Brian laid out the theory for me that um AI bot could go on and realized that it can make money digitally without actually ever being in person, accumulating money and then using that money to cause havoc in the meat space, hiring people to do things, do its bidding to make itself more wealthy. So um, he's going to invest in whatever stock or Bitcoin or whatever, and then go, okay, this event would be good for the price of my Bitcoin. So I'm going to hire someone on the dark web to assassinate someone, or maybe attack Moscow, or maybe we'll hack into this ship and take a bridge down. Like, did it happen? Probably 98% zero. No. Could it have happened? Maybe. Maybe. So, yeah. Who's it? It might be IT. It might be it. Uh Eclipse news. Kyle says biggest thing that's happening on April 8th is he's turning 32. 32. Uh-oh. Not 32, right? Oh man, you're turning 32 on the 8th? But 2 plus 3 is 5, and if you add in another 3, that's the 8th, and 4/8 is the second eclipse, dude. Pickle Pete says, and this is the thing right here. This is it. Even if there's a 0.0001% chance, it's terrifying. Well, I think I've gotten to a point that I've scared the living piss out of myself enough in my life that I don't care anymore. Like, I understand that all of these different things are possible but unlikely, and if I don't have any control over them. I don't have any control over them, so but it is kind of terrifying when you go down that rabbit hole. Oh, Backwoods is trying to get me to talk about Giants, but nope, my eclipse notes today have to do with CERN. You guys hear what's going on at CERN on April 8th? Do you guys heard? You know what CERN is? You know the thing that they started messing around. They're trying to start the universe again. The big particle collider. It's been off for a while. There's lots of theories about CERN. Weird shit going on at CERN over there in Switzerland and stuff like that. CERN. They say that the world might have ended the last time they fired up CERN, the particle collider at CERN. And that's where a lot of the Mandela effect stuff comes from. That is a pretty strong conspiracy theory out there, kind of like 9/11 was an inside job. The Earth is flat, shit like that. So they're firing CERN back up on the 8th. Sure are. With all the end of the earth prophecies, the end times prophecies, the all the weird shit that lines up. And guys, I'll tell you, I don't believe 99% of this shit. I entertain it. I entertain the idea. I go through the thought process. I go through the motions of evaluating it. I love talking about it, but in reality, I am not. Well, I can't say I'm not crazy. Hunter says, "Bless you, Corey." I'm not gonna say that I'm not crazy. Like, I live in a camper with 3 Saint Bernards. I'm a little bit crazy. Like, at a minimum, I'm a little bit crazy. Jen G says, "Bless you, Corey." Yeah, not crazy. Like, I mean, I believe I look into this. I explore the possibilities. Open your mind, because you never know what really is true. And like I was saying in my group about the bridge collapse, is even if it was on purpose, even if there was a conspiracy, even if there was a cyber attack, even if there was, we're never going to actually know. We're never going to actually have someone come out and say, I orchestrated, or we orchestrated the Francis Scott Key bridge collapse. We might, and it could be someone just trying to claim it so you can't believe it, like ISIS. ISIS says, yes, we commandeered a freighter ship in the port of Boston and ran it into a bridge. Like, no, guys, like, yeah, I don't think you're that capable. Maybe with the help of CIA. But even if they came out and said it, you'd be like, meh, maybe. After the fact, if Joe Biden has a brain fart and he's standing in front of the State of the Union after he gets elected next, and he's like, remember the Francis Scott Key Bridge? Yeah, they asked me for ice cream that night, and when I walked away, I think they pressed a button. Half the people would believe it, and half the people wouldn't. There would be doubt. We will never, ever, 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 ever know for sure what happened. No one will 100% sure agree on what happened, ever. Jim says, remember when the Libyans took responsibility for the things they didn't do? Yeah. Pip says, well, yeah, it's possible someone would say that happened. Like when Sleepy Joe said that pipelines would get blown up. Yeah. Backwoods Butcher, definitely don't do a attack in Russia. You'll be forced to eat your own ear. But anyway, Eclipse, guys, we've heard it. We've heard that's the end times. We've heard that Planet X is coming because the moon and the sun are not in the right horoscope house of the rising sun, or wherever it's supposed to be. So Planet X is going to be what's going between the sun and the Earth, causing the eclipse. Planet X is going to make the Earth explode. We're going to wake up the giants. We're going to have massive earthquakes. It's going to activate the New Madrid fault, and the giants are going to crawl out of the earth, and we're going to be back in the age of giants, and we're all going to feel like midgets. So if you've ever made fun of midgets, get ready. You're going to now be the midget. And now CERN. Like, we couldn't. Backwoods Butcher says, I've only heard all of this from you. Dude, you've sent me half the TikToks. All right, guys, we're running up close. We're gonna move on. We've covered the eclipse massively. I'm guessing next Friday we'll probably hit the eclipse pretty hard since it'll be like in a few days. That's saying that I don't win $1 billion this weekend. Anybody else playing the Powerball this weekend? $935 million. Talk about conspiracies. I got one last thing on the list before we wrap up for the day, though. Diddy, P. Diddy, Sean Combs, Puffy Combs. How many names does this fucker have? Like, if anybody was setting up to have an alias and get away, it was this dude. His whole life, he's been changing his name. Hey, did you hear what happened to Puffy? No, but did you hear what happened to Diddy? I heard Sean Combs is getting sued. Like, how many names does that fucker have? Anyway, I'm pretty sure it was 3 or 4 weeks ago when dude originally filed lawsuit. They had just got done with the Cassandra, whatever nuts is, the rapper that sued P. Diddy for he doesn't need a passport, Jim. Jim wants to know how many passports he has. When you go to Epstein Island, you don't need a passport. The Cassie lawsuit was being settled with him gang raping her with a bunch of thugs and drugging her for like 20 years or something. So that ended. This dude that was his producer now suing him. And I brought you right here I saw it on TikTok. Sean Combs, Jeffrey Epstein, Meyer Lansky, Herbert Hoover, they are all professional sexual blackmailers. Sean Combs did this all on purpose. Yes, he is a depraved human being and probably enjoyed partaking in all of it. It is what it is. I mean, everybody's got their kinks, but it wasn't for his pleasure. It was for his power, but it wasn't necessarily for his pleasure. Every time that this dude had these parties that everybody that's associated with him admits happened, talks about, I think they're quoted now as calling freak out parties or something. What Sean Combs would do was invite up and coming musicians to these parties. He would provide drugs, prostitutes, they do all sorts of illegal shit. But he would have cameras everywhere. Now, if you want to grow in the music industry, boy, you're going to listen to me, because otherwise I'm releasing this video of you with a wiener in your mouth. And what's more terrifying to a thug gangster rapper than him getting exposed with a wiener in his mouth because he was on ecstasy or all fucked up out of his mind, or maybe he's bisexual or gay, but he's putting up a front because you got to be hard to be a gangster. Think of all the hardcore, like, we're talking Sean Combs started this back in the 90s, early 90s. Think of the rap scene through the 90s, through the early 2000s, even into now. What is one thing you would never want coming out? Some weird sexual perversion. It's all about hoes and gangbanging and shit like that, blowing, like, shooting people and drugs, and got to get that money and sling that crack. Like, that was rap in the 90s. So what a better way to control people and accumulate your army and your forces than to have evidence on them of things that they never, ever would ever want to be exposed. So I told you about this. And then here we go, a few weeks later. Now they're raiding his house. All these videos have to be gone. Like, I can't imagine that he kept these anywhere. This is going to be the Epstein list. It's going to be the Diddy files. the video, the Diddy files. I don't know what else come up. I'll have to think on that for next week or something. But there's got to be a cache of videos of all this shit going on. I know that the record producer that sued him says he's got hours and hours and hours of this, but you gotta know that Sean Combs has a fucking pile of evidence. Just like you gotta know that Jeffrey Epstein has a log of everyone he had dirt on. These guys don't get rich because of money. Anybody can have money. It doesn't make you powerful. Well, it does once you have fuck you money. But more than money, they want control. And when you have someone's deepest, darkest secrets, you got control. There's a reason it's their deepest, darkest secrets. Keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it. Jim says leverage. It's way more than leverage, dude. It's way more than leverage. I went down the rabbit hole with sexual blackmail and its history in the United States. You ever heard the thing about Hoover in a dress? Was it Hoover? Where does that come from? Where did that come from? Anyway, that's what I got. Pickle Pete says his jet left the ground after the raid started. It went out of U.S. jurisdiction, so someone got away with all the laptops and the hard drives. Yeah, and it looked like when they stopped him, when they stopped his jet, it looked like he had the drug mule with him. He had a drug mule with him that had edibles and coke. Former Syracuse basketball player. They let the white kid carry the drugs. Backwoods Butcher says Clinton in a dress too. Well, that could have just been Epstein's fucked up sense of humor. The more you look into that, dude, like if you can get beyond the fact that he was a kitty rapist and a child trafficker and basically has dirt on every powerful person in the world, the dude had a really fucked up sense of humor. The Black Epstein. Mike's got it. The diddler, aka Black Epstein. Good morning, John Palmer. Thanks for joining. Yeah, we're at after an hour, guys. I got to wrap up here. It's Friday. I got shit to do. I got to make some videos. I got to go do laundry. I got to do grocery shopping. I got to do a bunch of stuff. Shit is rolling now. Shit is rolling here in the spring. Everything's growing. Jim says, whatever happened to R. Kelly? I don't know. He peed on some girls. He peed on some girls. Hey, if you don't have anything to do and you're looking for a different speed of show, definitely switch over to the Food Forest Farms website and check out Sensei Scramblin' on Good Morning Seattle. He's got a new intro that he's premiering today. Maybe it was yesterday, but premiering today. He's also got a digitally sculpted release of a song today. So check that out. Yeah, right over there. Other than that, I gotta have a busy weekend. Got to make some videos. Got to do all sorts of stuff. I appreciate you guys hanging out all week. We're going to be back next week. We got a fun week of shows coming up. Monday, probably something special. Coming up on Monday, and then a week from Monday we have the clips. We got SRF coming up. We have all sorts of fun stuff, guys, that I'm excited to roll through. And if I happen to not show up on the Monday if I happen on the Monday, if I happen to disappear, you know, there might be signs. There might be signs that Corey and I actually won the Powerball. Count on it. Count on it. Other than that, I appreciate all you listening and watching. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit the like, the share, the subscribe. Share it with people you know that could have a good laugh on a Friday morning or any day of the week. Join us every Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central, with a cup of coffee. Return value for value. Please consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers, listening on any value for value platform like Podverse or Wavelake, or definitely Noster. Get on over to Noster, watch it live there. Hit the zap, throw a comment. Make it so that I have a reason other than Jim to keep popping this damn chat box up on my screen. Head on over to Noster. Grow Noster for sure. Other than that, thelotsproject.com is where you can find all the information about me. You can find our shop with t-shirts, mugs, comfrey cuttings, and much more. Got a new announcement for the comfrey coming up probably next week, so that is exciting. Beyond that, I appreciate everybody hanging out every day and all the fun we have. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Get a bunch of shit done, and we'll circle back and catch you on Monday.
I can see the light.